This is Tales and Whispers, where every story is felt, not just heard.
Today, we're diving into a story that feels like it was ripped straight from a social media feed. It's a modern-day fable, really, about what happens when real, hard work crashes into the promise of online exposure. If you're a creative, a freelancer, or run your own business, this one's for you.
So imagine this. You've just poured your heart and soul into a huge project. You've delivered everything perfectly, and when it's time to get paid, you hear this. What bill are you talking about? That one sentence right there is the spark that ignites this entire firestorm between a seasoned pro and a new age influencer.
Okay, so let's meet our two main characters, who honestly could not be more different. First up, we've got Linda. She's a 40-year-old caterer. Her business is built on things you can actually touch and taste, and it's fueled by grueling 12-hour days. Then you have Tiffany. She's 23, and her business is her personal brand, built on the intangible currency of 100,000 followers. And their two worlds, they're about to collide. Hard. So how did these two even get connected? Well, it all started with a big, lavish party. Tiffany needed some seriously impressive food for an event. She found Linda, and they struck a deal. A verbal one, mind you. And that little detail is going to become a very, very big problem. And listen, we're not just talking about a few cheese platters here. This was a full-blown catering service for 50 people. We're talking mountains of sushi, tons of mini burgers, and the star of the show, a custom 3-tier cake. This was a massive job for Linda's business. And that massive job came with a very clear price tag. $2,500. Not an estimate, not a ballpark figure, $2,500. Burn that number into your brain. It is absolutely central to everything that happens next. So the party goes off without a hitch. The guests are happy, Tiffany is posting selfies with the food, everything seems great. Linda did her part, and now it's time to get paid. She sends over the bill and gets nothing back, just silence. And then finally, that killer question. What bill? The friendly collaboration? Yeah, that was officially over. And this right here is the moment of truth. It's where the rubber meets the road, or in this case, where tangible goods smash head-on into digital likes. See, Linda has suppliers to pay, staff to pay, rent to pay. Tiffany, on the other hand, believes she's already paid, with exposure. This was Tiffany's whole argument. From her perspective, she held up her end of the bargain. She's thinking, hey, I tagged you. I gave you prime ad space on my feed. My followers saw your food. In her world, that is a form of payment. She didn't see it as dodging a bill. She saw it as a fair trade. But here's the thing. Linda's landlord doesn't take Instagram tags as rent. Her produce supplier doesn't accept exposure for vegetables. She was completely stuck. So, with no other option, she did the only thing she could do. She took Tiffany to court. This little dispute over a party buffet was about to go very, very public. So now we're in a courtroom. And this whole thing becomes way bigger than just a fight over $2.5 grand. It's basically a trial about what value even means in 2024. Is a promise of exposure the same as a contract? And can a bunch of followers substitute for actual, money? And this is where it gets kind of wild. Tiffany, standing in court, actually tells the judge he doesn't get how modern business works. She claims a single post on her page is worth $5,000, double what Linda was even charging. In her mind, she wasn't just defending herself, she was trying to educate this old-fashioned judge on the new rules of the game. The judge, however, was way more interested in the old rules, and with one simple, brilliant question, he just cuts through all the noise about engagement and followers. He asks, is there anything at all in writing that says payment would be in likes instead of dollars? Boom. He's looking for a contract, for proof, for anything solid. And then, Linda presents her smoking gun, a text message from Tiffany herself. When Linda was pushing for payment, Tiffany texted back, and I quote, "Don't worry, I'll have my followers attack your page and follow you. Consider it an investment." Whoa, suddenly that friendly exposure sounds a whole lot more like a threat, doesn't it? So what about this investment? What was the actual return on $5,000 of so-called ad value? Well, after all the tags, all the stories, all the hype from a party for 50 people, Linda's business page gained a grand total of 3 new followers. You heard me, 3. Okay, so the arguments have been made. The text messages are out there. The massive, gaping chasm between Tiffany's promised value and the actual result has been laid bare for everyone to see. It was time for the judge to step in and bring a dose of reality to the situation. And the judge's conclusion was just perfect. He said,
The real world runs on real money, not hearts and shares. Then he looked right at Tiffany and delivered the knockout blow, a simple, undeniable truth. You ate her work. I mean, what a powerful way to validate everything Linda stood for. So the verdict was in, and it was crystal clear. Tiffany was ordered to pay the original $2,500. Plus, she had to cover $500 in court costs, bringing the grand total to $3,000. And the judge added one last kicker. If she didn't pay up, the court would seize her assets, yep, the same designer bags she flaunts in her posts, and sell them at auction.
So the gavel has fallen, the case is closed. But this is where the story gets really useful for the rest of us. Because this isn't just about one influencer and one caterer. It's a perfect snapshot of a huge shift happening in our economy. So what are the actual hard lessons we can pull from this mess?
Well, first, just look at their reactions after the verdict. It's like night and day. Linda, feeling vindicated, just stated a simple fact. Fame doesn't pay rent or buy vegetables. Meanwhile, what does Tiffany do? She goes live on Instagram, crying, claiming the judge bullied her, and asks her followers to send her gifts and money to pay the fine. Just wow.
So how do you avoid ending up in a situation like Linda's?
It really comes down to 3 super simple, non-negotiable steps. Let's call it the freelancer's shield. Number 1, write it down. Get everything in a contract. Number 2, define everything. Price, deadlines, what done looks like. And number 3, get a deposit. Always get money up front. But what if someone offers you exposure as part of a deal? Look, that can be okay, but you have to treat it like actual currency. Get the deliverables in writing. How many posts are we talking about? On what platform? What does the content look like? What specific results are we aiming for? If they can't give you clear answers to those questions, then you have a clear answer too. No deal. And all of this leaves us with one final, much bigger question. This story really isn't just about Linda and Tiffany. It's about all of us. As our economy gets more and more tangled up with social media and personal brands, how do we make sure that real, tangible work, the stuff that people sweat over, is always valued, always respected, and always paid for? That's something we all need to think about.